I'm not the entertainment tonight.
Thank
Get
you.
out of here.
Thank you.
Thank you. I want to draw your attention to a couple guests that we have this evening. Sitting on the couch that was from across the street. Right on the left-hand side is Dr. Karen List, who's our superintendent of schools. And sitting on that chair right there is my boss and our department supervisor of the Fine and Performing Arts, Andrew Mayo.
Yay.
And the reason that we're so supported here in West Hartford is because of that, because of both of these two administrators who will fight for arts education. And there's three other teachers here, myself, that's Corinne Kravitz, who is head of the Conard High School theater program, as well as going on the trip, and Mr. Kevin Barlowski, who's playing tonight, but he is also another faculty member at Hall. So it's just really incredible that not only do we have a full-time theater teacher, but we're so well supported that we actually have other faculty, and it's just really great and very unique. I'm one of only 3 public high school full-time theater teachers in Connecticut. So most other theater teachers teach English and then they do that. So it's just incredible to be in a school system like that. I also want to introduce you to Miss Janelle Robinson, who will be singing in a little bit, and her daughter Alita was one of my students, and who graduated in 2010 from Oxford, and went to Edinburgh with me last time. So so I asked Janelle to come, and she's gracious. She's just closed Mary Poppins after being on it for 6.5 years on Broadway, and she's going to sing a little bit. I just wanted to talk for a second, and then I'm going to introduce you to one other person. So I was teaching college actually in 2005, and Hyde Cheverdian, who was the department supervisor, then interviewed me and said, and I really just wanted to teach college. I thought the prestige of teaching college, I can get published, and all that. And he said, you're going to be able to fulfill way more students and change their lives more as a high school teacher than you ever in this district than you will ever as a college teacher. And I didn't know, but he was so right. And it's really fantastic to see these students grow. Because I happen to be a full-time teacher, I'm able to see most of these. I've had almost all of my students from the first day of high school to their last day of high school. So you see them grow as artists, but also as people. And they learn how to problem solve, and they learn how to gain confidence. And they learn all these life skills, as well as being good performers. Being emotionally connected and available, being in touch with who they are, being able to look somebody in the face and speak to them, being able to give extraordinary presentations. And so if they choose to go on with theater, which I have a lot of students that are doing theater for the rest of their life, but also some that are just like, I give this story a lot to my students, but I have a student who's a chemist at Penn right now, and he's like, I really miss doing acting. We met for coffee like a year ago. He's like, I really miss doing acting, but I give the best grants proposals. And that's just freaking awesome. That's really why you're doing it. It's like, and he really, he learned a lot. The American High School Theater Festival. So just to explain kind of this, and a lot of you're here to support us on this trip, but also, in a way, what I would like to really establish is just a community that it really supports, especially as arts are being cut all throughout the country because they have to be cut, or some people believe they need to be cut, to be able to really start cultivating a group that really supports that. And I run Playhouse on Park, and I try to have connections with Hartford Stage and professional groups, and Susan, who's one of my students going on the trip, is also one of our interns at Playhouse, and I really believe in trying to find different ways that we can educate even outside of the high school. But the American High School Theater Festival basically takes, there's a application process that happens after you get nominated. So you have to get nominated by either a professional theater person. A couple of years ago in 2010, we were nominated by a gentleman by the name of Fabio Polanco, who went to Conard, who was, he did Broadway, he toured all over the country in several shows. He ran a college in Ohio, and he heard about our program. He came to see a couple productions, and he nominated us. And then this year we were nominated by a man by the name of Tom Delvenhall, who teaches at, he's one of the heads of the acting program at Central. So you have to be nominated first by a college teacher that knows your work or by a theater professional. And then after that, then there's about 21 to 2,500 nominations. So then I fill out this huge book and I submit it to, and it gets read by the 8 board of directors at the American High School Theater Festival, and then they choose basically the top 40 programs in North America to be able to perform in Edinburgh, Scotland at the Edinburgh Festival Fringe, which is done every August. So when we go there, we'll go July 29th, we leave, and we're going to go to London. We're going to see a show in the West End, we're going to go to the Globe Theatre and see a play, we're going to have a workshop at the Globe. Then we go over to Edinburgh, in which we will rehearse, we'll have our tech rehearsal, then we'll have 4 performances at this beautiful theatre. You guys can check it out, it's called Churchill Theatre. And some of you hopefully will come and join us. Edinburgh in August is amazing because it's the largest performing arts festival in the world. There's 2,800 about plays going on. Everything is turned into a theater. And so what's going to happen is that these students, and when we took them in 2010, I took 31 in 2010, their lives were so changed because what happened was they saw communities brought together from, on such an international level, and which they'd never really experienced before. And they got out of this community here, and they were able to see theater from all over. And they came back and their minds were expanded and they were like, let's do experimental theater, let's do physical theater, let's do what that Polish company did. And actually the most rewarding piece that we saw this college group from Exeter University in London do this beautiful play. And that was my students' favorite play. And they saw, and how I described it is they saw kind of who they could be in their next step, I wanted just to read you 2 quick emails that I got recently. It's bizarre that I got them in the last month. They're from 2 students that are not, they did not go on to theater. I just wanted to read that to you. One is from Miriam Mangle, who's at Smith right now. She goes, "Hi Sean, I hope you're enjoying your vacation. I had sent you an email inviting you to our senior recital, blah, blah, blah. I just wanted to let you know that I was thinking about you today, specifically about how grateful I am for all the work we did while I was in high school. Today I had my audition to be a featured soloist in the commencement concert here at Smith, and I found out a few hours ago that I got it, which means that the day before I graduate, I'm going to be singing a Handel aria with a full orchestra. Pretty badass. This morning, as I clicked off stage in my boots, relieved and breathless that I had finished the audition, I remembered what you had said, heels give you confidence. I live and die by that. I tell all my freshman girls and guys, that's why I wear boots now. The 4 years I had in your acting class were probably the most formative years of my life, and I know that you are most of the reason why. I don't necessarily agree that I have very committed students. It's great for my ego, but it really is. When I became a confident person, why I was able to choose Smith, why I was able to have internships at Glimmerglass Opera and Lincoln Center, and why the day before I graduate and go to New York to pursue arts management, I'm going to be able to stand in front of my family and friends and colleagues and sing the shit out of that aria. All that to say thanks for everything, hope things are good, blah, blah, blah. Okay, that's Miriam Mangle, all right, pretty cool. And Casey Reagan, who graduated in 2010, who went to Edinburgh, actually, wrote this. A few things you need to know, this actually started. A few things you need to know about me post-graduation. 1, I still read plays for class and attend productions to receive extra credit for my analysis based off of your criteria. My professors love the insight and the fact I have experience in theater to back up my opinions. 2, my major is in marketing, so I have to get up in front of bunches of people all the time and do presentations. Never once have I had a problem speaking because I center myself, breathe through my diaphragm, and take my time to articulate my words. To this day, I have yet to get feedback from a professor that I was fussing around or distracting. Even peers comment on how comfortable I am during presentations, even though I may feel like a wreck on the inside. 3, I've developed great relationships with some professors because my background knowledge of theater is pretty rare at my school and it spices up my papers. I'm pretty sure that one of my professors that wasn't terribly fond of me earlier in this semester has bumped me up to one of her favorites because I played Helen in this play, Cripple of Ishmael, and related to her character to one of our class discussions. 4, being able to ad-lib and memorize has helped me in my work study of making phone calls to prospective students. I'm comfortable talking to random strangers on the phone and answering their questions about the school. So even though I stopped taking your class for my senior year, these lessons I have learned and the characteristics that are so relevant to my major are all because of you. God, I mean, I started crying when I read this. But the biggest lesson you taught me was when you said that day that if you didn't love what you were doing, that the day you didn't love what you were doing, you would quit. Your passion for doing what you love has been the base of so many essays, provoked a remark in my class discussions, and what makes me value my education so much. Saying thank you would not be enough for everything you've done for me, Mr. Harris, but I'll try to make you proud that I was your student by utilizing your lessons to follow my passion, just like you taught me, which is freaking awesome. But, you know, the reason I read this is because both of these are not students that are going into do theater, but they're using by having an acting class for, every day for 4 years, what they're able to get, which is just fantastic. I want to introduce you very briefly to Matt Macca. Matt is graduated from Hall last year. One of the reasons you get selected for this festival is how unique your program is, okay? That's it. That's why there's programs from all over North America, and they all have different levels. It's not a competition. We're not going with a play. We're going for how unique our program is. I fill out this whole, thing. Everybody, evaluates it, and they basically take the programs that really need to represent North America. And, Matt graduated last year, went on the trip. And I thought what was really unique about our program was that I give a lot of opportunities to students that may not have opportunities. So Matt came to me last year and said, would you let me write a play for us to take? And I said yes, kind of, reluctantly, kind of. But he said, I know the students, and I let him write a play for the year last year. So I said, why not? And so we've been developing it for the year, and we're going to take it. We're going to have a world premiere in Edinburgh. Matt's going to go out there and be able to see his world premiere on an international stage, which is fantastic. And I think it's a way that we're really tying this all in. And like kind of, I don't want to say creating a feeder system, but in a way, I mean, like you have students that are sophomores and juniors that are seeing this kid who's now in one of the top programs in the country, then writing a piece that they're able to really create these characters together because they're all original. No one's touched these roles before, so they're really going to be invested in it when we present it to an international audience. So I just want to say real quick thank you very much for being here, because your support is the reason why we're going, the reason why we have theater arts in West Hartford, and hopefully much more in a lot of other communities around the state. So thank you very much, and I'd like to introduce you to Matt.
Yay.
Hi everyone, it's been really nice to meet all of you. I think I should say right off the bat how nervous, well-dressed adults make me. But thank you very much for all being here. So I had something else I was going to say, but that email Casey sent about never doing something that you didn't want to do. I remember my second week of school, he said that one of my first rehearsals for my shows, and it turns out theater's the thing that I have to do. And I guess I never really connected it back to that day, but that's how far back it went to freshman year. Wow, okay, so, well, I did go on the trip right after my sophomore year, and it completely expanded my mind. I mean, the opportunities we're given and the kids we meet from across the country, I still keep in touch with one of my friends from Wyoming who goes to school there, and the theater production she does and I do, it's unbelievable. That email caught me off guard, I'm sorry. That's what happens, you go to art school and they teach you how to be emotional and then you don't know how to stop. Mr. Harris really taught us by example. After my freshman year, when he said he was going to start Playhouse on Park, and all the things he brought to Connecticut and to West Hartford, and all the things he took part in, I really learned you can never wait for an opportunity to come to you. You really have to go after it. Because, we joke about, and all my friends, I'm in an acting program right now in my college, taking basically just acting classes, and we all joke, we're never going to be employed again. Of course, we probably will never be employed again. But, I mean, in this job market, no way is ever going to be employed again. So, we may as well go for the jobs that we want. And so you can never wait for the opportunities to come to you, no matter what your field is. And he was honest with us. Every teacher is always like, you can work to your best ability. And having a teacher that you work with for 4 years say to you, you know what, you're going to work to your best ability, and sometimes you're not going to succeed, and those are the times that you really need to go for it. was the reason I started writing. And when I hit one of my biggest failures, I started writing, and it became one of my biggest successes. And the fact that I'm here right now and it's going to Edinburgh this summer, I think is such a testament to that. It's really unbelievable. And what I've learned in college off of that is that theater is really, for a lot of us, our voice. There's so many mediums out there to speak in, and movies and TV, and of course everybody jokes about the internet and YouTube and stuff, but theater is the medium that in college and in high school we have this theater space, it's open, and we have something to say, so we're going to say it there. And we don't need to have a publisher, and we don't need to have cameras, and we don't need anything besides the tech team that is student run and student organized, and our own ability and what we've learned. So if I've learned anything else, it's that theater is my voice, and the fact that we are now given the opportunity to take that places miles and miles away where half of us would have never been is something I'm eternally grateful for, and I think we all are. When we took the show right after my sophomore year, it was written by a very talented woman, Mary Zimmerman, who's unbelievable, but that was her story. And as Connecticut artists, Connecticut high school aged artists, this is the story we want to tell. It's a modernization of Pandora's Box, the Greek myth, which we're all very, I think mostly, we all know it, right? Mm-hmm. Yeah, okay, thank you. But we're setting it in today's era, today's problems, no Greek gods involved. These are our problems, and she releases, if you don't know the myth, all the evil in the world, and what's the evil in our society as we in Connecticut see it. And so telling that story in Edinburgh is exciting. So thank you all very much for supporting that, and thank you for coming tonight. Yes, we are performing here, right?
We are going to perform it here, and we will send invites out to that.
Everyone, make sure you have your email.
Yeah, and we are going to do it. Last year we did it at Bristow, and like a couple weeks before we leave, so sometime in July will be. So hopefully you'll all be able to attend. And that will be the first time we ever do it, so that's really scary. When I was hired, real quick, I was a waiter at the Macaroni Grill when I was teaching college in Jersey, and I sang for some of you probably one time for your birthdays. I hated every second of it, but I was working. But there was a woman by the name of Sue Daly who was the head of the union at the time, and she saw me, and I had like a theater tie on, and she said, do you want to be a theater teacher here? And I said, I want to teach college. And she said, these kids at Hall will rehearse with you till 3 o'clock in the morning. And they will give 110%. I'm like, no, high school kids are never going to do that. But what's really crazy is that that's what it is. It's how committed they are. And how much, and that's why we've had a successful program, that's why we're going again. I mean, all the accolades that I'm getting, that's fantastic, and it makes me feel great, and I sleep great tonight, And I'll want to continue to do this for the rest of my life. I mean, that's the whole point. But the students, and there's a couple here that are here tonight, but their drive and their work ethic and their tirelessness and their commitment and their passion and their emotional availability and their ability to risk is the reason why theater can survive, and also the reason why we're successful as a theater department, and the reason why I think they're great theater kids. You know what I mean? Like in general. So, lastly tonight, I want to introduce you to Janelle Robinson. She's going to sing a couple songs for us. Mr. Barlowski is going to play piano, and we'll have a little nice little cabaret concert.
Thank you.